The African Union has launched an agreement between government and private sector mining stakeholders. The agreement revolves around the implementation of the Africa Mining Vision and seeks to reaffirm a commitment to development in mining. Well, for more on the pact, let's join Liabo Setho in Cape Town at the Mining Indaba. Liabo, good afternoon. How much weight does this agreement carry and what's its purpose?
Devon, good afternoon. Yes, we understand that last night the compact or the pact between government and the private sector regarding the Africa Mining Vision was launched. From what I understand, it's a vision that aims to make sure that the mineral resources in the African continent are mined in a transparent manner and that they're profitable and that they're exploited in an appealing manner. But I have with me the African Union delegate, Mr. Mungenyi, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the African Mining Vision, what it aims to achieve, and particularly about the compact or the pact that you asked me about and what its aim is. Mr. Mungenyi, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for entertaining me.
Thank you, Mr. Mungenyi. Give us a little bit of an insight of what the African Mining Vision is in simple terms.
In simple terms, Africa is endowed with a lot of minerals. You know that very well. But the heads of state realized that Africa for a long time, we've been engaged in mining, but mining has not been contributing in the African development, in their GDP. They're not creating jobs. Every time we are exporting commodities, but then when the commodity prices are low as we are now, Africa doesn't benefit. Even when they're in the boom, doesn't benefit. So African heads of state and our partners, the African Union Economic Commission, came up with a vision that will guide Africa in the next 50 or so years on how can we benefit from our minerals. How can minerals feed into our development agenda? How can we create jobs? How can we ensure that the mining investment that come in Africa are responsible? How can we value add? How can we beneficiate? Create a lot of employment. In short, is that African minerals should be feeding into the economic development agenda of Africa. It's not about mining, it's about minerals development.
Tell me more about the pact that you signed last night, that you launched last night. What does it aim to do?
That compact, if you have known a little bit about Thabo Mbeki report that was released recently, it says that Africa is losing $50 billion every year, and 70% of that is through the extractive industries because there is irresponsible mining, and our partners in the private sector have not been coordinating well with the government. We talk about governance system. The Africans will say that let's know how much we receive from royalties and distribute them evenly, but we are losing a lot of money. So the compact is there to ensure that there is responsible investment, shared value, shared benefits, shared risk, so that the private sector benefits, but the government benefits, the communities benefit, Africa benefits. So it's a compact that we all both together work together and will benefit.
I believe that the Africa Mining Vision gave birth to the Country Mining Vision. Tell me about the pilot project. I understand that Madagascar, Lesotho, Ghana, Conakry are one of the countries that have piloted the Country Mining Vision. How is that coming along?
The member states, when they launched the Africa Mining Vision in 2009, they asked all African countries to domesticate it. And domesticating the Africa Mining Vision requires a process through which it can be domesticated. So we came up with the Country Mining Vision, and it's going to be culminating into a regional mining vision so that African countries can domesticate Africa Mining Vision into their development agenda. So the Country Mining Vision, the CMV, is that process that helps domesticate the Africa Mining Vision. So the countries which piloted at the time, even before other members came on board, had looked at, they want to review their policies, they want to review their mineral laws, they want to look at their fiscal regime, they want to look at the local content beneficiation, they want to look at small artisanal mining and small mining. They want to ensure that everything is in line with the Africa Mining Vision. So the countries which piloted, even though they were not selected, they came on their own. Lesotho, Madagascar, they were already in the process. But as of now, we have almost 12 countries and more coming on, which are actually practicing or going through the process of domesticating Africa Mining Vision through the Country Mining Vision process. So it's a process that guides the ensuring that even the private sector, the civil society, the government are all aligned to the Africa Mining Vision.
And just quickly, Mr. Mungenyi, your thoughts on the Africa Mining Indaba. We've heard a lot of presentations from government, from companies themselves. What do you make from an African Union perspective?
The African Union is very happy to be here because this is our third. And the first one in 2014 that we came as Africa Union, we even were blessed to have the chairperson of the African Union, Madame Dlamini Zuma, who actually is the originator of the issue of the private compact with the private sector. Now, we want to tell African countries that Africa, the minerals for Africa, this thing has been going on for 22 years. But we have never been there to engage with our partners. We engage member states. Now we have within the Indaba an African Ministerial Symposium where we organize the private sector and the government at the highest table to dialogue and say, this is what we want for the interest of the business. This is what we want as Africans. So let's work together. So for now, as the low prices of commodities are low, we are here as the African Union to inform our member states, say, do not rush in signing contracts because the prices are low. Take the opportunity, take advantage, diversify. Put maybe mining at the side for now. Look at other sectors. And when the prices pick up, you can negotiate, you can engage because you have the platform to engage.
Mr. Mungenyi, thank you very much for your time. Very, very much appreciated. I'm afraid we have run out of time.
It's a pleasure for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Devon, as you've heard Mr. Frank Mungenyi from the African Union Commission, his view on what the African mining vision is and the country mining vision, which a couple of countries have also started to pilot. And we will be bringing you an update from the Mining Indaba in our next bulletins.
Liabo Setho there in Cape Town. Thanks very much indeed.